Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing our NFL Mock Draft 1.0 with trades. We're going to have the Chicago Bears at 1, and during the trades, it's not going to be completely accurate. It's really just going to be pick for pick, so we're able to move on quickly, just get the team where I need them to be to make the pick. Shout out to Pro Football Network having free trades, because some mock drafts don't have it, and I don't understand why. Like, I'm not paying for trades. But we're going to have the Bears at number 1, and with the trades we're doing, I feel like it's a perfect way to start it. Having them trade out of number 1, drop down one spot to number 2, and we're going to trade them to the New York Giants. So, Giants move up to 1. It's going to be straight up 1 for 2. Obviously, it'll be more in real life, but I'm just going to do it right here. One thing that could be interesting about this trade, though, is that if the Giants do decide to move up, we know that in the NFL, free agency comes before the draft, unlike in the NBA where it's the opposite way around. So if the Bears are willing, we know the Giants last offseason were not willing to give Saquon Barkley that big contract that basically all the running backs are asking for. But if the Bears are willing to pay him that, and the Giants trade him to the Bears, move up a spot, probably get more in return than just that, maybe an offensive lineman that could help them. But if the Bears do trade down and end up getting Saquon Barkley in a similar way where they traded down from, 1 to 8 and got DJ Moore, that'd be very interesting. And we know the Bears right now have Roschon Johnson, Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman as their main running backs, but they're not great running backs. When you have a guy like Saquon Barkley, that is a great running back. Someone, if you pair with whoever you end up getting in this draft, whether that's an offensive lineman to help blocking, or overall it's just going to be the best running back that Justin Fields has played with. So, interesting to see what the Bears get if they do end up trading down from the number 1 spot. But first overall pick, Giants, that's easily Caleb Williams. You trade up for that guy. That's the whole thing. Second overall pick, though, I think this is going to be a Justin Fields pick. I'm going to say that the Chicago Bears give Justin Fields the keys. After seeing those last couple games before he got that thumb injury where he was throwing for a good amount of yards, if I want to put it up right here, Pro Football Reference. Seeing how Justin Fields did before his injury, he had 2 straight very good games that made us have a little bit of hope in him. And I think if he comes back, see where he is. But if he comes back and if he's able to produce the same way he was able to in those last couple of games, maybe they don't pick a quarterback, and that'll be good for Justin Fields in his development. But Justin Fields' last couple of games, this was the game he got hurt, so it didn't count. But 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Game before that, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's great improvement, especially from a guy like Justin Fields, who was struggling to start his career. So I'm gonna say Justin Fields make this pick. The Bears right now stick with Justin Fields, and they take Marvin Harrison Jr., the best wide receiver in the country. Just easily, his speed, his athleticism, his ability to get these contested catches, it's just basically unlike any receiver since what have we seen in college. Better than Drake London for sure. I'm trying to think about these receiver prospects. Another guy that went high is, I guess that's a little while ago, but you have Corey Davis, but there's probably someone in the middle of just forgetting about at the top of my head. But Marvin Harrison Jr., a generational wide receiver prospect, and if we can give Justin Fields a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. to target, it could be scary for the NFL if Justin Fields continues to progress. So Marvin Harrison at 3 or at 2. At 3, the Cardinals, you're definitely going to have some teams calling to trade up, like maybe the Rams, who are wanting to get Drake May. Maybe you have the Titans if they don't really feel like Will Levis is the guy. Maybe even the Broncos. Who really knows? But I'm going to say they stick and pick. They don't trade, because if it was a trade up, you're trading for Drake May. They stick and pick, and they pick Olu Fashanu out of Penn State, the best offensive tackle in the he's the best offensive tackle in the draft. It's just basically position need. They stick with Kyler Murray, so it's the second straight team sticking with their quarterback when Drake May was available, so that's something to look at. But they stick with Kyler Murray, who had a pretty good game coming back from his injury, at least when I'm recording it, and they get him more offensive line help. They continue progressing this team from the trenches up, and hopefully that this Cardinals team can come back to relevancy. Remember a couple of years ago where they started off like 10-2, and went to the playoffs and then just didn't do anything there. I want the Cardinals to get good again, so more competition in the NFL is always better, especially in the NFC where it's more weak. But Cardinals at 3 take Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. At 4, we have the Patriots, and I feel like this is an amazing pick for the Patriots. If Drake May ends up falling to 4 and he falls right into the Patriots' lap, it's a dream for Bill Belichick. And if Bill Belichick and the Patriots make this pick, maybe we don't see Bill Belichick fired, or maybe we don't see Bill Belichick leave, however it ends. But Drake May at 4, it's position need. Mac Jones is not the answer. It's time to go on a new route and pick Drake May. At 5, we have the Bears again. I feel like another way to just, help Justin Fields' progression is to get an offensive tackle, an offensive lineman. I'm going to have the picking Joe Alt. It's the second best tackle. It's the second best offensive lineman in the class, right behind Olu Fashanu. It's the perfect pick for them at 5, and I like the pick. And I like the Bears getting that offense better. Defense obviously needs work, but we want to see Justin Fields improve, progress, then we need to see guys like Joe Alt being taken for them. At 6, the Packers. I feel like for the Packers, you definitely want to see more weapons for Jordan Love because he's not throwing to great players. We thought Christian Watson was going to make a big impact on the Packers, and he's been bad this season. Jaden Reed, the rookie, he's not been amazing this season. They need a clear-cut number 1 guy that Jordan Love, a younger quarterback, can trust down the line and just progress with him because that's what he needs to do. We could see someone like Brock Bowers, who would be very interesting. Brock Bowers, forgot the Packers tight end's name right now, but Brock Bowers and just pulling up his name right now. So I think it's Luke Musgrave. Yes, Brock Bowers and Luke Musgrave for the future, little tight end duo. It might sound crazy because they're both tight ends. Like, why pick a tight end at 6 if you already have a guy that you like? It's just that Brock Bowers can really play anywhere. I'm actually going to have him take Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers can play in the slot. Obviously, he can play at tight end. He's a good blocker. He's an amazing pass catcher. And this is another one of these high tight ends we see go in the draft. Last time it happened was Kyle Pitts. He wasn't used amazingly. But if Brock Bowers comes to the Packers and Jordan Love has a real number 1 guy to throw to, I expect Brock Bowers to have a pretty good load for the Packers this upcoming season if he ends up going at 6 to them. At 7, we have the Rams. This could definitely be a quarterback right here. This could be J.J. McCarthy. Michael Penix, probably not. Shedeur Sanders, probably not. Bo Nix, maybe. Jaden Daniels has played a lot better. Or not a lot better, but he's played like a Heisman this year. So this could be quarterback. This could also be probably not receiver. We could see this being edge. But I think I'm going to have them going quarterback here. And let's say J.J. McCarthy goes at 7. Going in a new direction, getting someone like J.J. McCarthy, he's a dual threat guy. That's what the NFL is obviously moving to. He's able to use his legs. I heard someone say that he reminds him of Joe Burrow. Obviously not as good as Joe Burrow. But J.J. McCarthy, and if Michigan get this chip this season, we see more film on J.J. McCarthy. We could see him going high in this draft. I'm going to have the Rams take J.J. McCarthy at 7 here. So pretty big for the Rams getting their franchise guy. At 8, we have the Titans. Their need offensive tackle, center, offensive guard. It's really just getting the best guy available when it comes to the offensive line. I'm going J.C. Latham out of Alabama. He's the best guy available. I feel like just pick him. I've noticed that we've only picked offensive players so far, so we could see a little change right here with the Broncos at 9. But J.C. Latham, best available, and he's just someone that it's just, they're a run-heavy team with Derrick Henry. Tyjae Spears has played better as late. So getting an interior, or not even interior, getting an exterior offensive lineman can help this Titans team continue to progress, especially if they decide that Will Levis is their guy. At 9, we have the Broncos. I'm going to have them take Dallas Turner. First defensive player taken. They need edge help. They need, getting a Von Miller 2.0 would be cool, but Dallas Turner's just an athletic freak. He's able to get to the quarterback in so many different ways: speed, ball, rip, swim. it's all there for Dallas Turner, and he's gonna be a big. I think he's gonna end up being a really good NFL player, and hopefully he could be Von Miller 2.0, even though they're not really the same type of player. Maybe the same impact. So Dallas Turner at 9. At 10, we have the Falcons. Their needs: quarterback, edge, tackle, cornerback, receiver. I could see this being a receiver, but I don't really want to go Keon Coleman of Florida State, because him and Drake London kind of play similar, both big time jump ball receivers. So probably not him. I don't think they end up going quarterback right here, because I don't think any of these quarterbacks should end up going in the top 10. First round maybe, but not top 10 right now. So I'm gonna have them take. I'm gonna have them taking. I'm gonna say I have them take an edge or cornerback. I'm gonna have them take an edge. I'm gonna have to say Chop Robinson goes right here. Chop Robinson at 10 to the Falcons. Another crazy athletic guy who's shown flashes at Penn State. And at the end of the day, NFL drafts you off of flashes, drafts you off of pure potential, and that's what Chop Robinson has. He should be a good impact for the Falcons if they end up drafting him. At 11, we have the Commanders. Their needs: linebacker, running back, guard, edge. Could this be the first interior lineman? I don't think so. Not a great interior lineman class at all. I think this could end up being a receiver, as crazy as it sounds. They have guys like Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, all good players, but they don't really have someone who can go up and get a jump ball, something that Keon Coleman can do. I'm going to say they go cornerback, though. I think this is going to be Kool-Aid McKinstry. Emmanuel Forbes has not worked out for them. He's been bad so far. So bringing in another guy, if Forbes progresses, then he does, and you have a nice cornerback duo. But bringing a guy like Kool-Aid McKinstry, Kool-Aid obviously not his real name, but bringing someone like him, and you could be in good business. So Kool-Aid McKinstry 11 to the Washington Commanders. At 12, you have the Buccaneers, and this is another place where we could see possibly quarterback, but again, I think it's still too early. You have, I'm not quarterback here, but you have Michael Penix. I think he could probably sneak into the end of the first round. Same thing with Shedeur Sanders, Jaden Daniels. Who knows? Like, those guys could possibly go earlier, but if we want to stick with Baker Mayfield for right now, get them more weapons, we could be looking at Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman learning under Mike Evans would be amazing. So I think I'm gonna have him going Keon Coleman here. Make sure, don't want to change my answer at the last second, but no, I think I'll have him go Keon Coleman here. Talisi Fuega is also a good pick. I might actually go Talisi Fuega. High potential guy. He's shown flashes. He's been a good player at Oregon State, and he's definitely moved up the rankings a lot. So I'm gonna have them go Talisi Fuega actually out of Oregon State, tackle. But I can see them picking receivers still, and I feel like Keon Coleman is someone who's falling a little bit in this draft. Not anymore though. Here at 13. Actually, no, he's gonna keep falling because this team doesn't have a quarterback. They have Aiden McConnell, but is he the answer? He still might be the answer now that I'm looking at it. They could go. Michael Penix, Shedeur Sanders, Jaden Daniels. These guys can go early. Like, there's a very high chance that these guys can go early. And still, we're in the midpoint of the NFL season where, these guys, draft boards will fluctuate. Something can happen that, one player might fall, one player might jump. But here at 13, I think I'm going to have them go quarterback here. Just a little early. This might be Shedeur Sanders, even though he might go back to Colorado this season. I'm going to say, no, you know what? No, we're going to go defense. They need defensive help. I'm going to go ahead and say this is Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. Yeah, this might be a little early, but Cooper DeJean has, in my ear for a second. Actually, I'm not going to go Cooper DeJean. We're going to say this is Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. He's fell down the board a little bit, but it's cornerback help. Defense needs help, and if you want them to draft a quarterback, you can, but I feel like the first tier of quarterbacks is Caleb Williams and Drake May. Then you probably have J.J. McCarthy. Then after that, it's the rest of these guys, basically. Penix, Nix, Shitter Sanders, Jane Daniels, Quinn Ewers, Jordan Travis, Cameron Ward even could all go in the first round. But Nate Wiggins at 13. Next at 14, you have the Chargers. They need defensive help like immediately, and I feel like that's the only place we're gonna see them go. Might go Jerzon Newton, who I'm pretty sure is he has a name that he goes by. It's not Jerzon. It's see what it is. I don't know. I'm gonna say he goes though. I don't know so much about him, and it's not gonna tell me what he really goes. Johnny Newton. There it is. I knew it was something else that was not Jerzon because I've never heard anyone call him Jerzon. It was another name. But Johnny Newton, 14. They need run help. They need defensive help in general. I feel like it's a good fit for the Chargers at 14. 15 is the Colts, and this could also, I mean, if we're looking, this could end up being a defensive player, but also probably an offensive tackle. I'm looking at Amarius Mims here. They could also use edge help, and one edge that has been, I'm not going to say necessarily falling down the draft boards, but we've seen injury concerns with him, but he's still a great player, so it's probably just injury concerns that are bringing him down. Laiatu Latu at a UCLA, I feel like he can go right here at 15, possibly. It's going to be hard, though. I think I'm going to go Laiatu Latu. You could also see Cooper DeJean here. Interior offensive line is not amazing for this draft class, like I said before. Like, I mean, even the way these guys are ranked, top guys at 38. But I think I'm going to go Laiatu Latu here at 15 to the Colts. He's a great player. Only reason why he might fall down the draft is because of injury, but I don't think that the Colts will pass up on him. At 16 is the New York Jets, another team that is in very high need of. Also, I forgot to say, yes, I did pick Laiatu Latu over Jared Verse, so that's interesting. But another team that needs offensive tackle help, I think this is where I'm going to go. Amarius Mims here out of Georgia. Can this team draft a quarterback? Yes. Would it be crazy? Probably. We saw what happened the last time Packers drafted a quarterback. Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers went crazy and ended up leaving the team. So Amarius Mims here at 16. I like the pick to the Jets. At 17, I feel like even though it's not fully need, you see Keon Coleman just falling down these draft boards where you felt like he could have gone here at 15, at 16. I think just take him. Their offense has been kind of stagnant recently. I'm recording this during the Broncos game, so I don't know the exact score. I guess I could just search it up. But they were losing 15-8 at halftime. Looks like they tied it up, but Broncos are driving. So I'm gonna have them going. Keon Coleman stops the crazy fall, which I did not expect to do. Yeah, I don't know why I had him falling so bad, but Keon Coleman at 17 finally stops the fall. And that should be a great pick by the Bills if he does end up falling all the way to 17. At 18, we have is the Bengals. I'm going to have them go Cooper DeJean. They need corner help, and I think Cooper DeJean is arguably the best corner in the class. So I'll have them go at 19. At 18. At 19, though, the Saints see Malik Neighbors falling all the way down to 19. I feel like that has to be a quick pick because they need wide receiver help. I know it doesn't say it here, but Michael Thomas has dealt with injuries. Rashid Shaheed isn't really a wide receiver. He's more of he's a deep threat guy, but he returns punts, he returns kicks. So I wouldn't really consider him as a wide receiver, but you could. I'm going to say they go Malik Neighbors here. Again, stops the fall of a great player. Getting Malik Neighbors at 19 would be a steal for the New Orleans Saints. They could also look for quarterback, though. At 20, we have the Cardinals. Again, I'm not sure who this pick is from. Last time they picked Olu Fashanu. Now they're at 20, and I feel like if they end up getting Jared Verse at 20, that would be a steal. This draft class of Olu Fashanu and Jared Verse, two guys who could arguably go in the top 10 in real life, getting Verse at 20 is big. That's a great draft already for the Cardinals. So, interesting to see where Jared Verse falls. Surprised I had these wide receivers fall. Like, I bet you if I just search up NFL mock draft, you're probably gonna see Keon Coleman drafted like at what? Somewhere between 10 and 15. Here, why not? I don't even know what the 33rd team is. Looks like it take a long time, so I'll wait for that. But don't know where my mock draft just went. I exited right up. Okay. But 20, Jared Verse, he's somebody that can end up falling. I mean, he's not having as great as a season as last year, where he had a breakout season. But I think that he can, or I think that this Cardinals draft with Verse and Olu Fashanu is going to be amazing. At 21 for the Vikings, I feel like this has to be quarterback. They don't really have a choice. And I feel like they have an option between a lot of quarterbacks here. You know, the league is leaning towards scrambling mobile quarterbacks, so we could see Jaden Daniels, we could see Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to have them go Michael Penix, though. Michael Penix at 21. Good arm, good accuracy. He's just been an amazing player. If you want to say he's the leader for Heisman, you could. I personally have Jaden Daniels. But Vikings need a Q, and that is your Q. At 22, we have the Cowboys. I'll probably have them going receiver here. They need some help. And another guy. If Emeka Egbuka falls to 22, pick him. He's someone who should not drop that far down in real life. And him at 22 would be great for the Cowboys, especially because it hasn't really felt like Brandon Cooks has done that much. We know that Michael Gallup hasn't done that much, so getting a second guy to CeeDee Lamb would be big. Next up, 23, we have the Steelers. It looks like they need offensive tackle, interior, or I guess that's center. Cornerback, DT, edge. I mean, don't rule out a quarterback. Also, don't rule out an offensive coordinator. Go get yourself a new one. But I'm not 100% sure who I should pick here. This could also be a wide receiver, but I don't really feel like this would be a Steelers type pick to get a wide receiver. So I'm gonna have them go. I think I'm gonna have them go edge, JT Tuamaloa. I know I butchered the name, but last season he had a big year at Ohio State. Another guy who's kind of slowed down this season, but him for the. I don't want to go out again because it might glitch. But him for the Steelers, little Troy Polamalu, I don't know. But I know they have like similar hair. But it's just team need. I feel like it's kind of an easy pick. Not an easy pick, but he showed a lot at Ohio State last season. I think he could definitely bring that to the NFL. Have him go at 23. Kind of rambled a little bit there. But at 24, it's the Texans. I think this has to be either wide receiver again, or this has to be defensive help, because their defense has not been amazing this season. It's been good, but it hasn't been amazing. It hasn't been amazing when it needs to be amazing, basically. But yeah, this could be wide receiver. We could see Roma Dunes from Washington. Could see Xavier Worthy from Texas. Adonai Mitchell from Texas is also somebody I like. Brian Thomas from LSU is having a great season. So is Jalen McMillan. But I'm going to go defense. Could this be another edge? Could this be possibly a safety, as we see in the team needs? I'm going to go Cameron Kitchens out of Miami, Florida. Just basing this off team needs. Obviously, when we're down this low in the draft, it could really be anything. And this is my first mock draft, so obviously this is going to be a lot different from what it actually is going to be. But Cameron Kitchens here at 24 to the Texans. At 25, we have the Dolphins. I feel like that this needs to be offensive lineman help, interior or exterior. This could also be cornerback, like it says here. You have Denzel Burke. We have, Denzel Burke. No, we don't really see too many cornerbacks other than that. But I'm going to have them go interior, offensive line, for the first guy. I wanted to pick the Houston guy. Looks like I can't sort by college. But I'm going to have them go Patrick Paul here. I know it says, didn't I search up Paul? I don't know. I know it says that he's projected lower, but Patrick Paul is having a great season for Houston. I think he'll end up being a first-round pick. and him at 25 to the Dolphins I feel like is a good pick. Now at 26. This could end up being quarterback. I know it probably seems crazy because we know that Geno Smith has their guy, but he's not having a great season. I don't know if I'll go quarterback, but just the thought in my head that this could end up being quarterback, just something to put right there. But I feel like interior lineman might be the way to go. Cooper Bebe out of Kansas State, Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State, two guys that I think could be good for the Seahawks. I think I'm going to go Cooper out of Kansas State. Team need, we see tackles. Like I was saying, we've seen tackles go low at the end of first rounds. I feel like Cooper is one of those guys that could end up doing that, or I meant guards, not tackles. So having him at 26, especially with a team that needs interior offensive line, can be good for the Seahawks. At 27, I feel like this might have to be cornerback, and if not, this could also be another offensive lineman. I'm going to have them go Kalen King, though. He's a guy that got destroyed by Marvin Harrison when they met, but he's still a good prospect. You can't just base someone's draft stock off of the best player in college football. At least when it comes to wide receivers, you could argue in the whole college football, yes, but at least when it comes to college football wide receivers, Marvin Harrison is that guy, and Kalen King got burnt by him. Have him go 27, though, to the 49ers. At 28, we have the Jaguars. This could also be another cornerback, but I think I could lean wide receiver here. Calvin Ridley, I'm cool with giving him more chances. I mean, I say more chances like he's at his end of his career, but not a great season so far. We know that he missed all of last season, so there's that, but not a great season. So if they could go someone like Rome Odunze, Xavier Worthy, Jalen McMillan is probably a little bit early, Adonai Mitchell, even Brian Thomas Jr., but I think I'm not going to go to that. I'm going to go another cornerback here. I think I'm going to go Denzel Burke out of Ohio State. Some Ohio State quarterbacks have hit, like Marshawn Lattimore. Some Ohio State quarterbacks have not hit. So, you might call this a shot in the dark. I don't, though. I like Denzel Burke, and I feel like he can be his first-round pick this year. Next up at 29, we have is the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be another cornerback right here as well, but I'm going to have them go receiver. I think this is going to be my Rome Odunze right here. Have him at 29. The Baltimore Ravens have needed a receiver basically every year. Odell Beckham Jr. has not done it for them. Rashad Bateman, not really. Devin Duvernay is not a receiver one. So get a guy like Rome Odunze. He could stretch the field for Lamar Jackson, and he's could be a good pick at 29 for the Ravens. At 30, we have the Lions again, or not again, but we have the Lions, and I think they could also, again, pick a wide receiver. A little back-to-back. Can this be a quarterback? Can this be, Bo Nix, Shedeur Sanders, Jaden Daniels? Maybe, but I'm keeping my trust in Jared Goff right now if I'm the Lions. So I'm going to go receiver here, and I think I'm kind of leaning towards Brian Thomas. I know he's low, but he's having an elite season for LSU. If he could come and produce right away for the Lions, that'd be big. Jameson Williams is not working for them, and they've had a couple other guys, smaller guys, who've been playing well. But I think I'm going to go Brian Thomas here at 30 to the Lions. So, yeah, maybe it's a little bit of a reach, but I like Brian Thomas out of LSU. And if the Lions can keep adding these receiver options for Jared Goff in that offense, we could see that this team can keep building towards a potential Super Bowl. At 31, though, we have is the Chiefs. And yes, this would be 3 straight receivers, but if you're looking at this in the Chiefs' point of view, look who's still here. Xavier Worthy, still on the board. I'm taking him. He's had some drop problems, which if you're a Chiefs fan, you're kind of scared of. But why not? He's the best. He's arguably wide receiver 3 in this class. I know I've had Emeka Egbuka, Malik Neighbors, even Roma Duns and Brian Thomas over him, but he could arguably be wide receiver 3 in this class. So him at 31 can be very big for the Chiefs, especially because their receivers are bad. Now finally, last pick of the draft, mock draft. At 32, we have the Eagles. They need safety, cornerback, receiver, and running back help. Can this be the first running back off the board? I think Will Shipley would be very interesting. I don't think he ends up going in the first round, though. Not because of talent, obviously, just because of dimensions, size. No, he's not the tallest guy. Other stuff, too. But Will Shipley here would be interesting, giving Jalen Hurts another option out of the backfield. We know Will Shipley is a good receiving back as well. But I might lean offensive line. Can this be Cedric Van Braun out of Georgia, because they need offensive line help? Their guys are getting old. You have to draft somebody sometime. This could be a couple guys. I might go Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. I think I want to go offensive line, though. I don't think I'm gonna go guard, even though Donovan Jackson is definitely an option. I'm gonna go Cedric Van Braun out of Georgia to complete my mock draft. And yes, this is my mock draft. I liked it. I know there's obviously going to be more trades, but these are just the amount of trades I did right now. And one thing to say about this mock draft is I've definitely had receivers dropping. Keon Coleman at 17. He could definitely be a top 10 pick in real life. Same thing with Malik Neighbors. If receivers go high off the board, Malik Neighbors could probably be a first or a top 10 pick in real life. Some of that might have fell. Or a reach, definitely Brian Thomas. That's probably my reach of the draft. He could end up being a third-round pick in real life. Someone that might have fell, though, you could argue JT Tuamaloa is also someone who might have been a reach. But Emeka Egbuka, I kind of had these wide receivers falling a little bit, like Worthy. In my opinion, he's probably fell. I think he could end up going in the teens range. Same thing with Roma Duns. He could go early teens. But here are my drafts. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope these keep improving, just like my NFL predictions. How I started off not so great, but recently I've gotten over 10 predictions correct. So thanks for watching this video, and see you next time. Peace.